Anyone who hasn't decided to follow Allah's law is must pay a tax. That's how it is. All of this that's happening now has been prophesied. The Jews
But
will,
it has been prophesied, and who does it look like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is standing with or
the
protecting?
Muslims, the Muslims.
So why do you keep losing? Since Islam came onto the scene, the Jew has always lived under the Muslim, and now we're living alongside. And some people, I'm not saying that's Islam, I'm saying some people.
That's not the case.
What do you mean that's not the case?
Before Islam came to Jerusalem, the Jews and the Christians lived amongst each other. When the Muslims entered Jerusalem, at the time when they were spreading Islam,
Yeah.
the Jews initially thought that the Muslims were Jews too. They didn't know what Islam was. And because Islam's teachings correlated so much with Judaism and opposed Christianity, the Jews initially thought that the Muslims were Jews.
And do you know what happened a couple of decades later? So from Umar to Umar II, Umar II kicked the Jews out of Israel. He kicked them out of Jerusalem. And
Yeah,
so there's been this mixed history. But all I'm saying, the Jews have always been under, the Jews always lived under the Muslim. A charitable reading would be to say as a protected person. A negative would be to say as one of the Dhimma who was forced to be Sagirun. But always under. And
or it could be under, but at the end of the day, under, as long as it's peaceful, it's still under.
And so
I live in the West.
I
I
think
live
that's what
under.
some people have an issue with. Like, I think some fundamentalists have an issue with Jews living as equals.
I have no issue with Jews living.
No, I know you
amongst
don't.
me.
Like, we've had a really civil conversation.
No, but not just me. I'm talking for my religion, Islam. We have no problem with Jews living amongst us. Do you get what I'm saying? I
Amongst,
don't have
but
a
not
problem.
a Jew can't be caliph. A
Of course not.
Muslim's testimony is worth more than a Jew's. A
Yes.
Jew needs to pay the jizya until he's sagirun.
Yes.
This is not from
the
a
same
Jewish
The
perspective.
same way
this
I'm
is
in the UK now.
Let me
I have to
put this
pay
a
my
different way.
tax.
Imagine I said we're going to force the Muslims to pay a tax of humiliation just for the Muslims. Actually, Christians can pay it as well. And there's going to be no limit of that tax. And we need to make sure that they're humbled when they pay this tax. And it's going to be a lot more in most cases than what we do. Our taxes as Jews is going to be much lower. The zakat is going to be a lot less than the jizya. The jizya is a tax of humiliation for the Muslims only. Would you say that's good or bad?
I'd say it's fair.
You'd say it's fair to have a tax of humiliation with no limit.
We have a zakat that we must pay yearly as well.
Yeah, but the zakat's like tupper. It's like pennies.
Now, of course, it's pennies to the pound, but it's still, whether or not it's humiliation, it's
And you're not paying.
to
So
keep them,
the
to
Jews
keep
pay.
them peace. Look, mate, if that's the humiliation that comes with
Do you know why they're to
Muslims,
be humiliated? Because they haven't accepted Islam, and that's why you humiliate them. If they accept Islam, then they pay the zakat, which is why many Jews apostated and left the religion.
So if anything, we're doing you a favour.
So let's hope that Nigel Farage doesn't get in and create a Muslim-only tax to humiliate you, to do you a favour.
Mate, I'm in the UK, mate. There's another humiliation tax. It's called not being in the right tax bracket. So it's how you want to word things.
But that's slightly different. Progressive taxing is very different to taxing because someone's a Jew. A Jew tax is not a good tax.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm paying tax in a country where.
But you're paying the same tax as the Jew, as the Muslim, the Christian. Everyone's paying the same. That's fair. But that's another example of why I'm not Muslim, by the way. I believe Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would create a fair system. And this is not a fair system where the Muslims pay a little, the Jews and the Christians pay a lot.
Anyone who hasn't decided to follow Allah's law,
lives.
anyone who hasn't decided to follow Allah's law must pay a tax. That's how it is.
Even though you conquered the land which they were living in, you come in, conquer them, and then make them pay an unlimited tax to humiliate them.
Brother, do you know what it is? It's the Game of Thrones, man. That's how it is. Do you know what I'm saying? Every dog has his day. There was a time when the Crusaders came and slaughtered everything. Every dog has his day. But
we're not talking about dogs having a day. We're talking about divine law. And that doesn't sound like a divine law.
It is a divine law, man.
To humiliate the Jews.
mate. That's how it
So
is, isn't it?
you think that Allah wants to humiliate the Jews?
But the other side, the flip side of that coin for the Jew to humiliate the Muslim is different. You get what I'm saying?
I don't think
Like,
Allah wants the Jews to humiliate the Muslims. I don't think
but that's
that.
what's happened. That's what's happening, though.
I don't think that is what's happening. I think what's happening is there's a war between Israel and Gaza, and it's not Jews and Muslims.
Yeah, but the war is just it's what we're seeing on the front page. It's deeper than the war. It's a religious conflict. It's
I
not to
agree with
do
that.
with
It's a
war.
religious conflict,
Yeah, it's a religious. It's not war. War is just what we tell the masses.
and I
It's a
think
religious
if you frame it
conflict.
as a religious war, look who's winning. Look who keeps winning, despite all the odds. 2 billion Muslims can't defeat 15 million Jews. In the
Yeah,
48 war, which was basically refugees from the Holocaust and refugees from the Arab world, versus
yeah,
the mightiest Arab armies, we had one rifle for every 3 soldiers, and half the soldiers were girls, and we
yeah.
still beat 5 Arab armies.
Yeah, no,
You
but
have
it's
to start
prophesied that the
questioning
Jews. All of this that's happening now has been prophesied. The Jews
but
will.
it has been prophesied, and who does it look like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is standing with or
The
protecting?
Muslims. The Muslims.
So why do you keep losing?
No, we're not losing though.
You've lost every
The
war.
brother, the loss of life is not a loss for the Muslim. When I see my brothers and sisters dead in cold blood, it doesn't bring anything but joy to my heart because I know what's coming for them. Do you get what I'm saying? I know
It
where they're
brings,
going.
so when you see a dead Palestinian, that brings
Yeah,
joy to your heart.
do you know what it is? It upsets me that they're being
Astaghfirullah.
oppressed. Do you know what it is? It upsets me that they're being oppressed, but the fact that we know what's coming for them when they pass, it's closure. It's closure. It's like I know, alright, cool. They've passed away. They're with Allah. They're winning in my eyes. Do you get what I'm saying? They're being oppressed.
See, when I
They're
see
that.
those pictures, it breaks my heart, and I wish the war would end.
Not really, because in your belief, you would believe that they're going to heaven as well, no?
So I believe that 100% a child is a pure soul. I believe Jannah,
Yeah,
Jannah, Jannah for all the children.
yeah,
Um, some of the parents maybe Jahannam, maybe
yeah,
not definitely Jahannam, but
yeah, yeah.
no, the children are pure, and that's why it breaks my heart to see them dead. I don't know what's waiting for us in the world to come. I've not tasted death, thank God. Um,
Yeah. But why would you thank God that you haven't tasted death if you know you're going to heaven?
why would I thank God? I thank God every morning that I'm
No,
alive.
but I said, why would you not thank God that you haven't tasted death if you know you're going to
No,
heaven?
no, I am thanking. I'm saying thank God I haven't tasted death. I don't want to. Like as Jews, we make
No,
a
but
prayer that we're alive. We thank God that we
one day
can.
your prayer is not going to be answered.
Yeah, yeah, well,
Yeah, so
100%. We all
you
die.
make that prayer every day, not apprehending that it's not going to be answered one day.
But my thing is,
Is
what
that the day
I
you
don't
lose
think
faith?
anybody should experience joy when they see a dead child.
You know, it's mate. I don't want to wish it upon myself, but if my child died due to oppression, I'd be heartbroken. But at the same time, I'd have closure knowing that they were destined by Allah to go to heaven. Do you get what I'm saying? That's how it is, isn't it? It's life. That's how it is.